In the year 2026, there exists a man who has scored more goals than any other human being in the history of professional football. A man who is at this moment chasing a milestone so incomprehensible, so mathematically improbable that entire generations of footballers have lived and died even without approaching it. 1,000 goals. But here is the part the highlight reels will never show you. Before the goals, before the trophies, before the Ballon d'Or, before the world knew his name, there was a boy. A boy who cried himself to sleep, alone in a city that was not his own. A boy born to a family so poor his mother once considered whether he should be born at all. A boy who was told by the very doctors who would later try to end his career that his heart was broken. And that boy decided, somewhere in the dark, that he would become the greatest footballer who ever lived. February 5th, 1985. On a small volcanic island off the coast of Portugal, a place of steep mountains and cold Atlantic winds, a woman named Maria Dolores Alviero gave birth to her fourth child. She named him Cristiano, after Ronald Reagan, the actor turned president that his father Jose admired. Nobody on the island imagined what that name would one day mean to the world. The Alviero family lived in the parish of Santo Antonio Funchal, a neighborhood where the streets are narrow, the houses are small, the ambitions of children are shaped by how much is left in the refrigerator by Thursday evening. Jose Denis Alviero worked as a gardener and kitman for a local football club. Maria Dolores cleaned houses and cooked. Together they raised 4 children in a room they all shared. There was not always enough food, there was never enough money, and there was the painful reality that Jose, a decorated veteran of Portugal's colonial wars, a man who had seen things no man should, was losing his battle with alcoholism. The weight of that home fell largely on Dolores, and in that weight, young Cristiano found his anchor, a ball. He played with anything round he could find, rags tied together, a plastic bottle, a sock stuffed with newspaper. It did not matter. What mattered was the movement, the escape, the feeling, even at 6 years old. That was he running with a ball at his feet. Nothing else could touch him. At 8, he joined Andorinha, the local club where his father worked. Coaches immediately saw something different, not just in his skills, but in his hunger. While other boys played football, Cristiano studied. He watched every game his father took him to. He stayed behind after every training session, alone, perfecting his touch. At 10, he moved to Club Desportivo Nacional. At 12, he left Madeira entirely. In 1997, scouts from Sporting CP, one of Portugal's most storied clubs, came to Madeira for a trial. What they saw convinced them to sign a 12-year-old boy and bring him to Lisbon. For a family struggling to survive, the decision was agonizing. For the boy, it was the moment the dream became real and terrifying. He would have to leave his island, leave his mother, leave his father, leave everything he had ever known. At 12 years old. Later in life, Ronaldo would say, "I cried every night. I missed my family so much, but I knew I had to fight." Lisbon was loud and massive and indifferent to a skinny, homesick boy from a small island. At Sporting CP's academy, the other boys were bigger, stronger, better fed. They came from families who understood how football academies worked, who knew which coaches to impress, which agents to meet, and they laughed at his accent. The Madeiran dialect marked Ronaldo as an outsider, the islander. They teased him about his accent, about his family's poverty, about his slight frame. There were evenings when he sat in his dormitory and truly considered going home. Instead, he trained. Coaches had to physically remove him from the pitch in the evenings. He ran sprints after every session ended. He shot penalties against an empty goal until his legs stopped responding. He sneaked into gyms when the lights were supposed to be off. The hunger the streets of Madeira had given him, hunger of a child who had gone to bed uncertain of tomorrow, that hunger now had a direction. Then came the moment that could have ended everything before it began. At 15 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo was diagnosed with a racing heartbeat, a condition called tachycardia. His heart was beating irregularly. The risk of cardiac arrest during intense physical exertion was real. Doctors told him he would need surgery. For most teenagers, that diagnosis would have been the end of the dream, an excuse to go home, a reason to accept a different life. Cristiano Ronaldo checked out of the hospital hours after the procedure. The surgeons used a laser to cauterize the irregular pathways in his heart. The procedure was successful, and within days, against every piece of medical advice, he was back on the training pitch. His godfather would later tell reporters all he wanted to do was play football, even with a broken heart. Literally, he could not stay away. That scar on his chest became, in many ways, the first Cristiano Ronaldo record ever broke. The record of limitation, the record of what was supposed to be impossible. August 6, 2003, Sporting CP faced Manchester United in a preseason friendly. By the final whistle, something extraordinary happened. Not on the scoreboard, but in the United dressing room, where experienced international players are turning to each other with the same thought: we have to sign that boy. The United players, including seasoned internationals, had been so tormented by the 18-year-old running at them all afternoon that they reportedly urged Sir Alex Ferguson to secure his signature before the plane home had even taken off. On 12th August 2003, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro became a Manchester United player. He wore the number 7 shirt, the shirt of Eric Cantona, of David Beckham, of United's greatest icons. He was told, gently, not to feel the pressure of that number. He felt nothing but pressure and used every ounce of it. His first sessions were electric but uneven. He was dazzling, a blur of stepovers and raw pace, but inconsistent. The English press loved him for the skill and criticized him for the theatrics. He was flashy, he fell easily, he complained too much, and then something shifted. Under Ferguson's fatherly guidance, Ronaldo began to transform. He added muscle to his slight frame, he simplified his game without losing its brilliance. He turned from a boy who wanted to impress into a man who wanted to win. The 2006-2007 season, he scored 23 goals, a landmark season that announced him as more than a winger but a force. The 2007-2008 season changed football. 42 goals in all competitions, the Premier League Golden Boot with 31 goals, the Champions League title, clinched on a rain-soaked night in Moscow against Chelsea, where a 23-year-old Ronaldo had missed a penalty in the shootout, only for Edwin van der Sar to save Chelsea's final kick and deliver the trophy to United, the Ballon d'Or to Ronaldo. He was 23 years old and he had arrived. In the summer of 2009, football had never seen a transfer like it. 94 million euros, approximately 80 million pounds. At the time, the most expensive transfer in the history of the sport. The weight of that number followed Cristiano Ronaldo through the arrivals gate at Madrid Barajas Airport, where a sea of Real Madrid supporters had gathered in the Spanish sun to welcome the most expensive footballer on earth. He stood before them, white shirt pressed against his chest, and made a promise. He said he wanted to be the best player in the world. Madrid had heard promises before. They had Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, Figo, Raul. Legends walked these corridors. The Santiago Bernabéu was not a stage for promises, it was a cathedral of proof. Cristiano Ronaldo walked into it anyway. What happened at Real Madrid over the next 9 years was not merely a career, it was an epoch. In the 2011-2012 season, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 46 in La Liga, the second highest total in the history of the competition. Only one man on earth exceeded that number that same year. That was Lionel Messi, who scored 50. 2 players, 1 league, 1 extraordinary season. 2 records that rewrote everything football believed about the limits of a single human body. Real Madrid reached 100 points that season, and Ronaldo was their engine. Between 2010 and 2012, Lionel Messi won 4 consecutive Ballon d'Or awards. Football had chosen its king, or so the world believed. Pundits wrote articles declaring the debate settled. Ronaldo was great, exceptional, historic even, but Messi was a genius, and genius, they said, could not be matched by mere hunger and discipline. Ronaldo was asked about it constantly, in every interview, in every press conference. Are you upset? Do you accept it? Does Messi affect you? His answers were always the same: measured, quiet, burning. He said once, "I don't mind people hating me, it pushes me." In 2013, Cristiano Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or. He reportedly won it again, then 2016, then 2017. 5 Ballon d'Or awards in a career defined by the question of whether he deserved even one. Perhaps no single night better captures who Cristiano Ronaldo is than May 24, 2014. Real Madrid had not won the UEFA Champions League in 12 years, 12 years of heartbreak, 12 years of near misses, penalty shootouts, and the unbearable silence of an empty Bernabéu after another European exit. The 2013-2014 final, Real Madrid vs Atletico Madrid. In the 93rd minute, Madrid are drawing. 1 goal from glory, 1 goal from another year of nothing. Sergio Ramos scores, extra time, Madrid win 4-1. Ronaldo scores a penalty, falls to his knees, looks at the sky. The weight of 12 years is gone. They called it La Décima, the 10th, and Cristiano Ronaldo was at its heart. He would go on to win 3 more Champions League titles with the same club, 4 in 5 years, a dynasty no one saw coming, built on the back of a boy who refused to stop. July 10, 2016, the Stade de France, the UEFA European Championship final, Portugal vs France. The host nation, the favourites. The tournament had swept France forward on a tide of nationalism and brilliance. Cristiano Ronaldo had been the heartbeat of Portugal's journey. Then, in the 8th minute, a collision with Dimitri Payet. Ronaldo goes down. He tries to get up, goes down again, tries again. His face is the face of a man watching his dream dissolve. He receives treatment twice on the pitch. He is crying, not from weakness, from the specific agony of a man who has spent his entire career building toward this moment and can feel it slipping away through a torn ligament. In the 25th minute, he is carried off on a stretcher. What happened next is one of the most extraordinary things the sport had ever produced. Ronaldo returned to the touchline not as a player, he couldn't play, but as a captain, hobbling on the edge of the pitch for the entire match, directing his teammates, pointing, screaming, refusing to be absent even when his body had failed him. In the 109th minute of extra time, Eder scored. Portugal won 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo wept so completely he could barely stand. He had spent his entire career chasing this, 12 years of international football, 12 years of hearing that Portugal were nothing without him, and yet with him, still somehow not enough. On that night in Paris, unable to kick a ball, he gave his country more than any goal ever could. In 2018, at 33 years old, an age when most elite footballers are thinking about retirement, Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. He had scored 450 goals for them. He had won 4 Champions League. He was their greatest ever player, and he chose to leave. Juventus paid 100 million euros for a 33-year-old. The media called it a vanity project, a final payday, a farewell tour dressed up as an ambition. At this age, they said the Serie A would be his retirement home, a place to coast, to collect his wages, to fade gracefully. He became the greatest scorer in Juventus history. In just 3 seasons, he scored 101 goals for a club that had never had a player reach that number. He won 2 Serie A titles. He became the first footballer in history to win league titles in England, Spain, and Italy. And then there was the 9th of March 12, 2019, when Juventus faced Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final, trailing 2 goals from the first leg. Pundits said it was over for Juventus. No one believed they could break the Atletico Madrid defense in the second leg. In the second leg, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. Juventus won 3-0. They went through. He ripped off his shirt, he tore into the night with everything he had, and the cameras caught something in his face that went beyond celebration. It was vengeance, quiet, complete, personal vengeance against everyone who told him the story was over. In August 2021, he came back to Old Trafford, to the place where he had first become Ronaldo. The reunion felt like poetry. The fans sang his name before he even appeared. The stadium rose for a man who had been away for 12 years. He scored on his debut. Of course he did. but the team around him had aged. The club had drifted. The project he had returned to was not the Manchester United of Ferguson's era. It was a club in transition, in confusion, in pain, and no one single player, however extraordinary, could solve that alone. In November 2022, on the eve of the World Cup, Ronaldo gave an explosive interview. He said he felt betrayed, unsupported, let down. His contract was terminated by mutual consent. He was free, without a club, at 37 years old, in the middle of a World Cup. For the first time in his adult life, Cristiano Ronaldo had no team. December 2022, the announcement came on a cold afternoon and hit football like a thunderclap. Cristiano Ronaldo was going to Saudi Arabia, Al Nassr, a league that the European football establishment had never taken seriously. A contract worth, depending on the source, somewhere between $200 and $600 million. The reaction was immediate and largely unkind. Retirement, exile, a betrayal of football's highest stage. Legends of the game lined up to say he should have stayed in Europe, even in a lesser role, to preserve his legacy. Cristiano Ronaldo has spent his entire life being told what he should do. He has spent every moment of that life doing the opposite. When the signing was announced, Al Nassr's social media following exploded overnight, from under 1 million followers to over 10 million within days. That is not a footballer in retirement, that is a civilization force in transit. In the 2023-2024 Saudi Pro League campaign, Ronaldo did not merely perform, he rewrote the record book of an entire national football competition, scoring 35 league goals, the most in the league's history. He became the only footballer ever to finish as the league's top scorer in 4 different countries. Not 2, not 3, I mean 4. In a career already full of the historically impossible, this remains perhaps the most quietly devastating rebuttal to every person who said his best days were behind him. There is a number that now hangs over Cristiano Ronaldo like a second moon: 1,000 goals. As of March 2026, he stands at approximately 965 officially recorded senior career goals for club and country. He needs 35 more, and he is still playing, still scoring, still hungry. Think about what that number means. 1,000 times a man has stood before a goalkeeper in the highest levels of professional sport, in cold English winter nights, on scorched Spanish summer afternoons, in packed Italian stadiums, in the Saudi desert, and found the net. Pele's officially recognized goal tally stands at 757. Ronaldo passed that milestone years ago. Joseph Bican, the great Czech Australian goal scorer from football's early era, recorded approximately 805 goals. Ronaldo has passed them all. The only number left is the number no one has ever reached, and he is running toward it. Strip away every club trophy, strip away every Champions League medal, strip away every Ballon d'Or. What remains is a man and his country. Cristiano Ronaldo made his debut for Portugal on August 20, 2003, 18 years old, coming on as a substitute against Kazakhstan. He has not stopped since. The 2016 European Championship was discussed earlier. The night he led from the touchline, in tears and in agony, and Portugal won 1-0 after extra time. But there is a story that lives in the shadows of his international career that deserves its moment. 2006, for age 39, Ronaldo became the first player ever to appear in 6 European Championships, 6 spanning a gap of 20 years between first and last appearance. An entire generation of fans grew up, had children, and watched those children grow enough to appreciate him, and he was still there. In 2025, Portugal won the UEFA Nations League for the second consecutive time. Ronaldo was instrumental throughout. He was 40 years old. Football made Cristiano Ronaldo famous. Discipline made him extraordinary, but it is his mind, the same mind that has absorbed criticism, defied age, and rewritten record books, that has made him something perhaps more rare than a great footballer. It has made him a billionaire. In 2016, at the peak of his on-field powers, Cristiano Ronaldo signed a lifetime endorsement deal with Nike. The value approximately $1 billion. This places him alongside Michael Jordan and LeBron James, the only three athletes in history to secure such an agreement with the world's most powerful sports brand. His social media presence alone generated an estimated $474 million in brand value for Nike in a single year. He is the most followed individual on Instagram on the planet, over 600 million followers. Each sponsored post earns him at least $3.4 million. But Ronaldo has never been content to simply be someone else's advertisement. The CR7 brand, his initials, his number, his identity now spans an empire. Clothing, footwear, fragrances, eyewear. The Pestana CR7 lifestyle hotels, with locations in Lisbon, Madrid, Marrakech, New York, Funchal, and an upcoming flagship in Riyadh. CR7 gyms across Portugal and Spain inspired the hair transplant clinic he co-founded, real estate portfolios across Portugal, Spain, and the United States. In 2020, Ronaldo became the first active sports athlete in history to earn over $1 billion in career income. He has been the highest paid athlete in the world by Forbes multiple times, with annual earnings reported in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Forbes estimates his current net worth at over $1.2 billion. The boy who once kicked a ball made of rags on the streets of Funchal is by any measurable definition the wealthiest footballer in the history of the sport. And he builds it the same way he built everything else, brick by brick, goal by goal, refusing to stop. There is a story told inside football clubs, whispered by physios and fitness coaches and teammates who have shared training grounds with Cristiano Ronaldo. The story is always some version of the same thing. They arrived early, he was already there. They stayed late, he was still there. They pushed themselves to exhaustion, he pushed himself to the edge of what the human body could do, and then asked for more. Ronaldo does not drink alcohol, he has not for the entirety of his adult life. He does not smoke, he sleeps in precisely measured cycles. Some reports suggest he uses polyphasic sleep method, 5 separate 90-minute periods per day, to maximize recovery. His diet is obsessively calibrated. His body fat percentage has, at various points in his career, been measured at as low as 7%, a figure that elite athletes half his age struggle to remain. At 40 years old, his physical condition is the subject of academic studies. Sports scientists write papers about his longevity. Clubs have reportedly sought to understand what he eats, how he trains, how he recovers, because the data suggests he should not still be doing what he is doing. His former Manchester United teammate Rio Ferdinand said it simply: the difference between Ronaldo and everyone else isn't talent, it's that no one works like him. Nobody. Former coaches have described a player who arrived at training before the groundsman, who filmed his own free kick technique and analyzed the footage alone at night, who once reportedly replayed a penalty he scored in training because the placement had been wrong, even though it went in. This is not perfectionism. This is war, a lifelong, private, daily war against the gap between where he is and where he believes he can be. He has said in various forms over the years, talent is nothing without work. Your legs will give up before your mind does, and my mind never gives up. Let us be specific, because the moments of doubt in Cristiano Ronaldo's career deserve their place in the record. They said it was over when he had his heart operated on at 15. They said it was over when he was a skinny 12-year-old crying himself to sleep in a dormitory in Lisbon, being mocked for his accent. They said it was over when Messi won 4 consecutive Ballon d'Or awards and the world declared the debate settled. They said it was over when Real Madrid faced elimination from the Champions League in 2013 until they won the La Décima. They said it was over when he fell, injured in the 8th minute of the Euro 2016 final and was carried off on a stretcher. They said it was over when he left Real Madrid at 33 for Juventus. They said it was over when he left Juventus, then United, and then found himself without a club at 37. They said it was over when he went to Saudi Arabia, and at every single one of those moments, Cristiano Ronaldo looked at the doubt and the history and the mathematics of probability, and he chose to go to work. In 2023, he broke the all-time international goals record, 143 goals for his country, a record that may never be broken. In 2022, he became the first man to score in 5 World Cups. In 2024, he became the first footballer to feature in 6 European Championships. He became the first player in history to finish as top scorer in 4 different leagues across 4 different countries. The story is not over. We began this story with a number, 1,000 goals. Let us end it somewhere else. Let us end it on the street in Funchal, a narrow street, steep and cobblestone, where the Atlantic wind comes in cold off the water and the shop windows are full of jerseys bearing a name and a number, CR7. There is a bronze statue at the airport of that island now, named of course the Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport. The statue stands with its arms raised, the celebration he performs after every goal, the one the world has seen approaching 1,000 times and counting. Somewhere on that island right now, a child is playing football, maybe barefoot, maybe with a ball that isn't quite round, maybe in a street that is too narrow, with cars that pass too close, in a family that is working too hard for too little. And maybe that child is looking at a jersey on a shop window and thinking, if he could, maybe I could. That is the real record Cristiano Ronaldo is chasing. Not 1,000 goals, not another Ballon d'Or, not another trophy to place in a museum that bears his name. He is chasing the proof, living, breathing, still scoring proof that where you come from does not determine where you are going. That the gap between poverty and greatness can be closed, that a broken heart can be healed, that the people who doubt you are, in the most important sense, simply wrong. He has been doing it for 40 years. He has not finished. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, born in Funchal, Madeira, February 5th, 1985. Still running. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next inspiring story. At Road to Fame, we tell the stories of people who rose, fell and rose again. Stay inspired.